Child, just when you thought y'all was safe from being arrested for these PPP loans, the police decided to come and arrest the police.
Listen, put your hand for me, okay? For what? You're under arrest right now.
Okay.
So if you did it and you still was waiting thinking you in the good because you ain't got caught up with yet, child, the police is still on it. So in this article, it says that 17 Broward Sheriff's employees are now facing charges based on the PPP loan. Okay, so let's go down to this article and read it to y'all and let y'all know the goings-ons that's goings-ons. It says the headquarters of the Broward Sheriff's Office closed its front doors to the public early Thursday morning as a group of BSO deputies and corrections officers turned themselves in after being charged with ripping off a federal government loan program meant to help businesses that struggled to make ends meet during the pandemic.
We are now hearing from Broward Sheriff Gregory Toney after 17 deputies have been arrested and charged with fraud.
Nicole, and we have learned that nearly 100 BSO employees did apply for the PPP loan. 17 of them are now facing federal charges. Well, we did get a chance to speak with Broward Sheriff Gregory Toney about these allegations, and he says if his employees were involved in this type of criminal activity, they do not deserve to be working in the law enforcement profession.
Later that morning, 17 BSO employees appeared in a Fort Lauderdale federal court on charges of fleecing the Paycheck Protection Program, the main pandemic relief benefit for struggling businesses. Almost all were charged in separate indictments with wire fraud, all received bonds, and almost all were scheduled for arraignments later this month.
Did you believe you were receiving these loans legitimately?
17 members of the Broward Sheriff's Office, which include both BSO deputies and detention deputies, released from the federal courthouse in Fort Lauderdale after being indicted on charges that include wire fraud after federal investigators said they fraudulently applied for and received funds from the Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP loans.
While the charging documents do not allege that any of the defendants committed the charged offenses in the course of their official duties, this does not in any way diminish the seriousness of what the defendants are alleged to have done here.
It's very disappointing, BSO Sheriff Gregory Toney said during an afternoon news conference at the agency's headquarters, noting that the accused BSO employees have been suspended and will be fired. He said this is theft from the American people. And it says among the multiple pandemic loan fraud cases, BSO Deputy Keith, and he stands accused of setting up a company called Global Group Alliances and submitting 2 falsified applications for relief loans. He pleaded not guilty Thursday to a charge of conspiring to commit wire fraud. Prosecutors say his company lied about its income on the loan application and submitted a fabricated IRS tax return with them. As a result, the business received a Paycheck Protection Program loan for $18,000 and another under the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program for $17,000 during the pandemic.
Damn!
The loans were small because of caps on a business with a sole proprietor, okay? It says that his case was similar to the others that filed in federal court in Fort Lauderdale. In total, the BSO employees received about $500,000 from the PPP and EIDL programs approved by Congress as part of the CARES Act after the pandemic swept the nation in March of 2020.
Of the 17 indicted, 7 BSO deputies and 1 sergeant in law enforcement, and 8 detention deputies and 1 sergeant in corrections.
I hate to see that, knowing some of the individuals and seeing the names on that list that's being indicted, some of them were good officers, but you're only as good as the last act and conduct that you execute.
We learned the defendants involved received tens of thousands of dollars, and while the investigation has proved that some of whom were investigated did have legitimate businesses, at the very least, the 17 now facing federal charges allegedly did not.
If you're going to be participating in criminal activities, we don't want you in this profession.
Although the total amount of the lost loan money seems relatively modest compared to dozens of other relief fraud cases in South Florida, the sheer number of law enforcement officers charged with breaking the law in one police agency stood out as shocking. Okay, so they're like, listen, we see people doing these PPP loans, but the fact that all of these people came from this one particular agency is cray-cray. Okay, it says At the afternoon news conference, the U.S. Attorney said the BSO employees were law enforcement officers sworn to uphold the law and the public's trust, but didn't. Okay? And it says that they are investigating and they began investigating in 2021 and so on and so forth. All right, y'all, that's all for this video. If y'all found them PPPs and you know they wasn't legit, I mean, you seem like you may be good for now, and you may have thought that the police was not on it, but child, it seems like they are still arresting folks day after day after day. So hide your kids, hide your wife, hide everything if you did a scam. All right, guys, peace.